On December 25th, 2010, the Christmas Day, which is for Flight 3012, was a Python plane, which is a launch or Lineage 1000 private jet plane. This plane was a special express that was going from Grant to Greater Rockford Airport, which is New York City, which is JF Kennedy International Airport. This plane had cakes, oranges, soda, juices, water, seats, TV, and cozy beds and cozy bathrooms, seats, and some comfortable pillows that you can use, containers, cakes, and a sink. This plane was originally going express. Today's taxi to the runway was runway 24 or 6. Is that 8 or 6? I don't know. I actually don't know. Yeah, 6. It was taxiing to runway 6 because if they taxi to runway 24, it takes a long or short distance. They speed up the plane to taxi to the runway faster. But since the ATC tower let them off with a good thing, they let them off with a short takeoff around here, since there were no planes arriving at this hour. They got much fuel as they got for Flight 3012. Finally, they speed down the runway and taking off after that. B1 or V1 rotate takeoff. HEC Tower set. Have a great day. We will see you when you come back from Greater, and which is New York City. The pilot said, "You too, buddy, you too." And he headed towards Greater. Next to Greater was HMS Queen Elizabeth cargo ship or military place. And next to them is right now is USS Gerald R. Ford, whatever that thing is. But during the rain, the pieces on engine number 2 wasn't completely fixed because of a rush of fixing, because there were delays in delivery going on. Because 3012 was supposed to be delivered to Saint, and then take off from Saint to Grant, and then New York City or Greater. But due to that problem, they would have some mental issues when they head towards Greater. While it was raining, number 2 slowly bursts into flames, and then disaster was striking though. Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Flight 3012. We got engine fire on the emergency column alert system. We have a fire outside of the seats. Passengers sees the horrifying sight of engine number 2 in flames. They scream and panicking for their life. But after that happened, the plane slowly banks to the right heavily, out of control, heading towards the ground at full speed and slowing down from a speed. Mayday, we can't pull. Flight 3012 was heading towards the ground. As of the 20 passengers on board and 2 crews and 1 president were trying to hold on for their life. The pilots were struggling and desperately trying to make it to Greater Airport, and they were just a few miles away from Greater. We are requested for emergency landing at runway for Greater New York. Okay, never mind. Don't want to worry about it. But the ATC tower said you can land on runway 25R or 7. The passengers hold on and brace for impact for the devastating crash soon. He put the landing gear out, but for its definition, it was wrong. The left landing gear wasn't out, but the right was out. Even worse, the alarms were starting to go off more often now, because the plane was baking even further to the right than now left. Come on! Freaking turn! Okay, there we go. Request for emergency landing at Greater. But if they try landing, disaster will strike them. So he puts the landing gear back up and try to make a desperate landing without gear. Call sign 3012 is me. A game pass private game pass. Ow! The pilots could now see the low ground and green grass, and they were just a few miles away. They slowed down the plane's speed and engine number 2 to 89 to 90%. But there was another runway in front of them. Okay, which runway though? Because they're going to land at that runway because it was too short for them to land. But they can't see that much because it was getting foggy because of the rain. The plane was starting to go back to normal a little bit after slowing it down to 90%. The passengers on board and the president and crews were so surprised that this action is already happening. The engine fire is getting worse. The plane is randomly going up, and they keep freaking pulling it down, but every time they freaking do, it doesn't work out for them. Now they're on a desperate turn to make the plane land. But once again, it goes down. Finally, they pull it back up. But even worse, they were 600 feet from the ground near Greater New York City. They were just almost there. And they were almost there. And they were getting closer to Greater between Cyprus and HMS Queen Elizabeth Airport and military. But disaster was about to happen.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
It's just 30 to 25 seconds. There were just a few miles, and the hill was surrounding them. They couldn't see.
Pull up. Pull up.
They pulled the plane all the way upwards.
Pull up. Terrain ahead.
And pulled it back
Terrain
down.
ahead.
But it kept going on landing speed.
Pull up. Pull up.
Finally, they can see what they can see. Houses, buildings, and then the runway was always at the left corner side. So they were not going to make it to the airport. They tried desperately trying to make the plane land. But oh gosh, they were arriving. The ATC tower heard them saying we are arriving, but that was the last words before saying anything else. Finally, they can see the runway. I see runway now. Oh my. The plane kept turning and turning. And finally, they can see an empty 2 runways in front of them, 25R and 7. Ah! Come on! I got it. On the mic of the announcements, the pilots announced it, said, brace for impact, brace for impact. Too fast.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
They're arriving at Greater Airport, but they were going too fast to land.
Pull up.
The plane hits the ground again, hitting the ground and the wing, and oh my gosh. The plane hits the trees, smashing off its side air wing, starting bending it to the right. Disaster was about to happen.
Pull up.
For the nightmares,
Pull up.
it was already too little, too late for the unthinkable for flight 3012 to even happen.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
It crashed just a few miles from the airport in the runway.
Pull up.
It was already too little, too late.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.